multiple sex partners, 22.8. And we go on and on. Didn't use a condom the last time you had sexual intercourse, 32.5. Even though that's a little bit lower, again, we are still right at 1 million people in Memphis.
We don't have 1 million people in Memphis.
We don't even have them.
In Shelby County.
In Shelby County, right. In Shelby County. We don't even have 1 million.
650,000.
Come on. At 32.5% compared to a 48 pound, right? And then of all of these young people, 72.9 of them had never been tested for HIV. And if they had not been tested for HIV, that means they also have not been tested for gonorrhea, chlamydia, herpes, trichomoniasis, crabs, nothing. But they have the sex without a condom. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Then they did us another solid, and then they pursed out the teen birth rates in all of these high-risk zip codes here. How many of you live in this one of the? Is your zip code reflected in here?
Yes.
Okay, we see Orange Mound up here. We see, you know what I'm saying? We see North Memphis, South Memphis, Hickory Hill, where we are, right? So we see that these are the high-risk zip codes. Now, just for the record, these are all the zip codes that Sister Rich intentionally works in, because these are the zip codes less traveled. These are the zip codes that take a little bit more work. These are the zip codes where you're gonna walk into. You're gonna have to be able to talk to the person, and build relationship and build trust with folks who have, historically been abused and used, overlooked, and not taken care of, as well as their children. That's where we go, intentionally. Okay, let's go to the next slide. And so then, so that's their data. Now we're going to talk about ours. Okay. Now our data, like I said, we released it in 2015. Since then we're already excited about extending this, and taking it a step further and just trying to kind of see where we are, taking this across the state. A part of the work that Lauren is doing is making sure that we start to get more of these statistics from across the state, making sure that more parents, interested voters, and advocates know about these disparities. But we released it in 2015. It consisted of teens, parents, and teachers who worked in those high-risk communities we just saw in those zip codes. And then it was important to hear from those who were most impacted. For us, that was youth of color and their parents. Okay, let's go ahead. Top themes from the focus groups, like Lauren said earlier, 90% of them felt uncomfortable going to their parents to have conversations about sex and contraception. And if we just take that down a step further and saying, if you LGBT, you better not. Because that could mean you was homeless after you had that conversation with your mom or dad, your guardian. Okay? But 90% of our children don't want to talk to us, is what they said. Okay? 80% of the teens who participated in our study said that if they couldn't get a barrier method like a condom, they would just go ahead and have unprotected sex. We saw that in the data that we just saw. And then almost all of them said that they didn't believe that they were getting all the information that they needed to make the best choices for their lives. Right? And here were some of the actual quotes that came out of the focus groups. One team, I feel they are telling us everything we need to know. They said, we need free condoms. I mean, over and over and over again, even the work that we're doing with Memphis Teen Vision, those young people, they want condoms on campus. They want to be able to go to the bathroom and get their condom. And can we just go ahead and just drop this bomb on folks who just forgot about what school was like when you were there, and they having sex at school because they can't have it at home because you home when they get home. So they got to be able to have sex where they can have sex without getting in trouble. And many times that's in the fire, what you call it?
Stairwell.
In the stairwell, fire stairwell, under the bleachers, after school,
In the bathroom.
This is just the reality of what's happening, y'all. And our teachers confirmed that it was the truth. We knew it was the truth. I went to Bellevue. I remember when so-and-so was in the stairwell with so-and-so and forgot the camera was right there. I remember that. Right? So these are what some of our teens said. Let's go to the next one. Parents. They were not aware about the law or the local policy change. There was not enough marketing. There was not enough communications to parents. Not written verbal communication, not anything that went home, nothing. They had no idea. They thought their kids had consticks. They didn't know what we was talking about when we were saying consticks. They're like, what do you mean by that? Oh, I thought they had that already. No, they didn't. Right? But they believe the parents that we surveyed that we needed all of the information regarding their body. And 30% of the parents who participated thought that they also needed to include information on abortion. Right?
Yes.
Because let's just be clear.
Yes.
We understand what's going on. I feel like, again, because that's not a topic for everybody, but the bottom line, it is a part of comprehensive sex education. However, as a parent, you get to say, I don't want my child to know this part, but let's be clear, your kids are still asking. Let's be very clear. You might not want to talk about it, but they're still asking us about abortion because they still want to have them. Because they're having them. And if not by mama, maybe by big sis. Because of auntie. Okay? So they're asking the questions. And then I think the thing that we wanted to really pull out of this is that over 70% of the parents that we surveyed didn't know anything about their own body. So excuse me, Tennessee legislature, you said that you talked to parents? You could have talked to parents. Not here. Because these parents said they didn't know about their body. Right? Let's keep going. Oh, no, go back. I'm going to go back to this quote right quick. So the one in green, I got to talk to her so she can know what's out there. I don't want the same thing to happen to her. I sat down I sat her down with pamphlets. You must talk to kids. You must have open communication. Life will have you have open communication. This parent revealed during the session that she had contracted HIV. And the reason that she would not withhold information from her children is one, so that she wouldn't be stigmatized by her own kids. Right? But so that she could educate them, because she felt like if they saw that it could happen to their mom, that they wouldn't think that it was just this big thing that happens, like, you know, that they see on TV or just to gay people, right? But it happens to mom. And so it can happen to you. So this is the reality of our parents versus the skewed reality of our Tennessee legislature. Let's keep going. And then from teachers. Teachers highlighted a direct connection between their teen success and parental communication with their child, and they compared that to the fact that parents were not able to be engaged with their children, just coming to school to see what was going on at school. You know, in their estimation, young people obviously weren't talking to their parents because young people were coming back to school with so many questions. You know, our teachers have turned into social workers for our children. They've turned into therapists for our children. You know, mom and daddy fighting at home, they come into school and talking to teacher, right? You know, whatever. You know, they got questions about sex and sexuality. They don't know who to ask. They don't know where to go. They're coming in there talking to teacher. Okay? Teens were more curious to try out different sexual scenarios beyond heterosexual sex, and needed education and guidance figuring out their sexuality. This is what came from teachers about our teens. And then the teachers who participated in the survey, they supported complex ed, right? One parent down here, one teacher says, I'm going to get raw. When you have a bunch of white men up in Nashville making these laws, and they see that these girls are going and having these abortion procedures done. Okay, who is it going to hurt? It's going to hurt us. So this teacher was basically making the point that, look, are we not going to help them so that they don't have to have these abortions that they keep talking about they haven't? Are we going to help them or not? Are we going to keep shaming them? And as far as they were concerned, these were teachers who were, again, working in Westwood, working in Fraser, working in Whitehaven. And they were like, we've never seen any of these legislators come to our school and talk to our kids, ask our opinion, and get any information from us. Yeah. Right? So this is what we're dealing with, and this is what our teachers were lifting up. So let's keep going. So, you know, our issues and kind of takeaways, the needs that we wanted to identify, first of all, is this is not just a teen problem, right? You know, one of the things that we've been trying to expand at Sister Reach is making sure that we have adult-centered sexual health classes, because grown folks need to learn about our bodies once and for all. Amen. Amen again. Yeah. Right? High rates of sexually transmitted infections, or STIs, and unplanned pregnancies among Southern adults of color was an issue. Right? We saw those same statistics come out about black men who sleep with men between the ages of 15 to 44. That's a young person to an age a year after my age, right? I'm 43, right? So we're talking about, you know, from my son will be 15 next month. Okay, we are the bookends almost to that statistic. Okay, HIV focus was only on black men who sleep with men and boys. Excuse me, 18 to 24. Right? So if we saw that between ages of 18 and 24, but there was still other statistics that came out 15 to 44.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, and we must expand the understanding to all who are contracting HIV and other STIs. It can't just be, in other words, it's our job to shift this narrative where HIV is just a one particular situation that we need to, infection or disease that we need to deal with just gay folks. Everybody is contracting HIV and
That's right.
disease, especially black women.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Okay. So we're talking about, we're also, we're not being culturally competent here. There's a breakdown in our cultural sensitivity and understanding here, right? We live in Memphis, the buckle of the Bible Belt, where you don't even really get to be gay out loud. Okay. Okay. So if you gay out loud, well, most likely you're probably not. I know I have several friends who have a marriage for show, just so they can keep their job, good job, or work with children because they know if they're publicly gay, that automatically it will be assumed that they are a pedophile. Okay, so this is what we are dealing with here in the state in Memphis, Tennessee. They failed to make a connection between domestic violence and other sexual assault that was also going on amongst teens. One of the things that Sister Reach contributed to with the Be Proud, Be Responsible group is doing was a gender violence prevention curricula to be added to their abstinence-based education, because young people, right, are emulating what's happening at the crib. Okay, and sexual violence and dating violence is a not only a reality, it's becoming an epidemic proportion among our young people. So we're dealing with that. So there's no, so what are we talking about here? Dating violence and these types of things. Oh, and even if we said that, but I mean, we could even be even more